Going on, guys? We're doing some more tests in my off-grid solar-powered work shed. There's no power here. We're completely isolated, disconnected from mains. The system runs off of solar power and an inverter, but I'm running my transmitter off of just a supercapacitor. I could move this. It's completely portable. If this was on a big wood board, it could be portable. I have a receiver coil here with a grounded inductance rod, and as you see, the system can extract energy from the earth. So if I remove the inductance, the grounded inductance rod, the light bulb goes out. If I add it, the light bulb gets very bright, and I get it in the right spot, it stays bright. So there's our real earth energy. This receiver is sucking energy out of the earth. When the transmitter is on, we must have the correct frequency. So here's our power consumption. And it's important to note, if I get close to the transmitter, I'll detune it and place a load on it and increase the power consumption. So when I'm far back, it consumes about 7 watts. So we have that bulb going very bright. That's a 5-watt bulb, and we still maintain the impressive wireless. It's giving me ideas to try and have a grounded receiver coil with a ground connection into a lake, a plate into a lake, or bury a metal sheet in the ground. Because there's no reason why we can't receive 5 or 10 times the output power out of a receiver coil that's heavily grounded. So yeah, I'll show you the effect on the light when I remove the ground. So another thing too to note is when you ground this, to avoid detuning, you can have a capacitor come off in series the bottom of your L2 coil. And I made a special type of bridge rectifier that outputs 200 volts DC, and when you ground it, you get half an amp. And this thing will shock the shit out of you. It's frightening. And the real power comes when you ground, like look at this. When you add this grounded induction rod, you literally just wind a wire, the identical to your L3 up here, which is 2 inches long, 18 gauge stranded silicon, and you just put that in here, and it runs the load. The earth is running the load. The extra power is being extracted from the earth. So this system is going to become a generator soon. As you can see, before I get too close, I'll try and zoom in on the power consumption from far away. 7.4, 7.8. Closer I get, the more I place a load on it and detune the transmitter. But I haven't even built a bigger coil yet. I could scale this up as big as I want. I could get transistors that could handle any type of power I want, and they're not even that expensive. I could scale this thing up to any size I want easily. I figured it all out, all the proportions. It's going to be in the PDF soon. So interesting to note, keep in mind that 5-watt bulb is lit almost full intensity. See if I can get it tuned even more. That is bright. That's very bright right there. Good. So I got that extremely bright. Power consumption was still the same at 7.8 watts. See if I can back up and read it. I'm gonna keep backing up. Seems to be fluctuating now. So that bulb is lit very bright. I can take this, and this is my heavy grounding system. I'm grounded to this rod. This also goes, the wire goes around, connects to all this grounding system. These are heavy earth grounds, all in the ground here. This is my old work shed. And this used to light. Look at that. It's extracting power out of the earth. There's a type of radiant energy that flows through the earth, probably unimpeded because it's non-electromagnetic in nature. It's probably a pulsed high-frequency DC. So yeah, that's lighting. Got how messy it was in here. All that shit I got from my old jobs, from work. Some of the old receivers. Wonder if it'll light just touching it to one of these. Doesn't seem to want to. Yeah, lights on the oil can. How funny is that? Look at that. Still have all the weird radiant energy effects. This just is an oil can. Just sits right on the table. So I'm really homing in on the effect. Like my coffee cup. It says Mama. Show happens when I touch an LED to the ground. See if I can show this. It should light. LED lights when I touch it to the earth. Hopefully you can see that. I touch an LED to the earth and it literally lights. It even glows just bringing it near the earth wire. Glows very bright here. Oh, I'm getting so many ideas now. I'm going to probably build this system bigger. It would produce more power. It would come to a point where the receiver, if designed correctly, with the correct induction rod that's earth grounded, would output a tremendous amount of power. I'm going to tune it down a bit, see how low we can take it. Then I'll crank it high. This video might go on kind of long. I got the day off, we'll see. And I feel so tired today. I did not even want to set this up, but everyone was asking for it, so I did. And as I grounded it, it did become more power efficient. So we are consuming 4.1 watts. And keep in mind, this system is run off a supercapacitor, not connected to mains in any way. It is a completely isolated system from the grid. We have earth-ground connections, 2 of them, and that's it. And we're running loads. That bulb is still lit. Yeah, he's going off heat. I'd say maybe he's at about 70% capacity. Here's where I grounded the L1, just like Tesla says, and you see the bulb get brighter. Not grounded, grounded. So all I do is I ground my L1 coil through a capacitor, which avoids detuning because a capacitor is a blocking device. Then I ground my receiver coil's L2 through a capacitor. A capacitor goes in series with the L2. It's just a blocking device to avoid detuning. And then I also connect a variable earth-grounded inductance coil to that same capacitor point. It's that simple. You basically make a variable tunable inductance coil, and wow, I got that really bright. You get it just right. And having it adjustable can compensate for all the tuning effects. You don't have to get your values exactly right. You could build your coils almost identical, but if you make something a little bit variable in it, like the tuning rod, you can correct for a lot of issues. Well, that's there. And as you see, I removed the earth ground inductance coil. That's what happens. The bulb gets very dim and it consumes more power on the transmitter side. So somehow the system is returning all the excess energy it produces into the system. Consuming 4.4 watts, 4.1. Sometimes it goes to 3.8. Still maintain impressive wireless. Very efficient. So it's coming to a point where it's shattering all the misconceptions and just making trolls cry. I'm in my work shed. I completely isolated from mains. There is no mains here. I got this cool little meter. And it can detect voltage per square meter, radiation, and look at this thing. The coil is absolutely putting out massive amounts of power. It's probably even present in our ground connection, the radiant energy, the circulating currents. Yeah, look at that. We're energizing the earth. So the earth is energized at the spot of the where it's grounded. Very high over there. So that L3 coil is the one that does all the work. I bet you it's even in our supercapacitor. Yeah, oh wow, look at that. 556, damn. And keep in mind, I didn't even add my other circuit where I connect a full bridge rectifier of the 1N5817 diodes between the negative of the supercapacitor and an earth ground. And I would get even more DC output if I then combine that with the receiver coil. So I just set this up as a quick demonstration to show people. And again, I'm in my work shed. There's no power in here other than solar panels. And we're not running anything off of the shed's power system, which is solar panels and an inverter. It's all self-run by a supercapacitor. The system could be portable. I'm going to put on a wood board soon. It's probably going to be as a generator soon. But the excess power does come from a good earth ground, so I'm not sure how portable it would be. You'd have to install a heavy earth ground to get the excess power at a receiver coil. So that's that. See what happens if I move it just a little closer. Okay, that's very bright. Yeah, that's very bright. 5-watt bulb is lit to full intensity, consuming 4.7 watts. And keep in mind, this is a wireless circuit. This wireless receiver is able to fully light a 5-watt incandescent light bulb. And we fluctuate between 5 and 4.4 or 4.7 watts. And we do that while still maintaining radiant energy effects. Very impressive ones, too. Amazing. Look at that. That's a separate earth connection. That's just a rod in the ground. And when this happens, there's no load on the transmitter placed. Go to the copper one. having trouble making contact. But nevertheless, it does light. This used to be the wire that ran to it, but it got broken. So, that's really cool. Just wanted to show that off. There's nothing under the desk. I'm in my grungy old work shed that I haven't been in like 6-7 months. It's dirty out here. I forgot how unrefined everything is. I used everything here as storage. I kind of don't like bringing all this new stuff out here because it's finally made. Gold plated. Nothing. But yeah, everything is just so dirty. There's like a layer of crap on everything. Even on the terminal of the battery, look how much of this radiant energy is circulating through the the supercapacitor. I keep calling these things batteries because they look like batteries to me, but they're supercapacitors. And they're so light. They're 14-volt DC supercaps, only made in Brazil and China. And I don't know why the U.S. can't make them, but that's a whole other story. I think the U.S. is becoming a third world country soon with how decayed everything is. All our jobs are going overseas. We put toxic growth hormones in our food. The country's heavily inflated and probably going to fail soon. That's a whole nother topic. Wow, that's giving off heat. And could you imagine what would happen if I made the transmitter 3 or 4 times bigger and the receiver coil 3 or 4 times bigger? But yeah, no, I'm going to end this video soon. The radiant energy is just everywhere. My PDF details fully how to construct these systems. I also sell them, the transmitter, as a kit. And it's even in the supercap, the radiant energy. Like the fluorescent tube is lighting near it. That's kind of interesting. So, you get these supercaps. They're about 80 bucks a piece. They come with this type of maintainer that that just maintains them because they do discharge a lot quicker than a battery would. And yeah, this is my solar shed. Runs off of a real-time inverter. So you only have power here during the daytime when there's sunlight out. So I'll try and show the roof of the shed real quick. Show that there's no mains anywhere. No mains connection anywhere. That's my ground rod. Try and stand up here and show you the roof of the shed. Hopefully you can see up here. So, about a 2 kilowatt solar shed going to a 1 kilowatt real-time inverter, which makes the power usable. Only during daytime you have power here. Little supercap maintainer. It came with the supercap. This thing came with the supercaps. You just keep it plugged into the supercaps. Maintains their 14 volt DC voltage, so you can use it when you want to. And that thing's just running away happy. And this did say 4.1 before I got close to it. So the efficiency is unheard of. And I'll keep it at that.